Welcome, party members, to a video that's honestly, two months late. I meant to make this back in December, but now we're in February. And, you know what they say, better late than never. At this point, we've played through both No Good Noelle and the Coffin of Andy and Leyley here on the channel, and although both games are vastly different in terms of both the setting, story, I have a theory cooking that the Coffin of Andy and Leyley may actually be a sequel to No Good Noelle. But before we hop on into it, first things first, we can't stay in our normal Tiefling Druid of the Stars form. We must evolve into our true Coffin form. Or whatever I want to call it in the end. Let's go. It's so much better. I do really like this form. And a word of warning before we get started. This video will contain spoilers for both the Coffin of Andy and Leyley as well as No Good Noelle. Feel free to check out the VODs both here on the channel before we begin if you haven't played either game. But with that out of the way, let's go and get started with the theory. What in the world was that? And am I becoming Mario? Well, I'll have to look into that later. But anyways, to start off with this theory, let's talk a little bit about No Good Noelle. The story follows, well, Noelle, as she goes through the trials and tribulations of becoming a snowflake maker, while also trying to maintain her friendship with Ivy. The game is very much a visual novel that lasts roughly an hour or so, unless you're illiterate like me, then it honestly takes much longer to get through. And in that hour, as the player, you only really have to make two choices, and they generally fall into the categories of being honest or lying and cheating. And depending on the answers that you give here, you'll be routed into either of the game's endings. If you want to be honest for both of the choices in the game, you'll end up with the Ivy ending, where you're wanting to repair your friendship and, you know, have a nice happy ending, you know, days saved kind of thing. But for this video, we really don't care much about that ending. We only care about the Noelle who decides to lie and cheat her way to victory. The necrophile who will end up with Yule and create this abomination. Yes, this weird demon baby thing. Noelle and Yule suspect that it could be a snow sprite, imp, undead abomination hybrid from one of the conversations you hear in passing near the end of the game, as it is revealed that Yule is an imp possessing the corpse of a snow sprite. Which, you know, makes Noelle a necrophile, which is kind of a weird plot point that passed over pretty quickly. But getting back on track, anyone who's played the Coffin of Andy and Leyley would likely know what this looks like. Can you see it? Can you see the resemblance? If you thought it looked like a Lord Unknown, you'd be correct. It's all very similar between the three eyes with the slits, the weird tentacle branching hands coming out of the head, the red and black color scheme, and, you know, all Lord Unknown needs is the binky and it'll be perfect. Let's see. You know, just do a little copy paste here. Bam! And there it is. It's the exact same image. And now Noelle's baby is about to goo goo gaga its way to world domination, or at least become the figurehead of a cult. But if you are looking at this after playing the Coffin of Andy and Leyley and wondering who this character is, this is Lord Unknown, a very missable character in the beginning of Chapter 2. After the prophetic dream about the hitman coming to assassinate you, instead of returning to the hotel room after hiding outside that tunnel, you can venture back into the cultist hideout and complete the ritual to summon Lord Unknown. And although at this time we're unable to communicate with Lord Unknown, it resembles a massive version of this baby we see at the end of No Good Noelle. Or, you know, maybe they're massive in their own world, and they see us as little tiny bugs or something, who knows? And while Nemli could have just reused the design, as great as it is for a demonic, eldritch being design, I like to think that this could be a much farther in the future version of Noelle's world, and Noelle's child is grown and now bridging the gap between its world and ours. Or, well, Andy and Leyley's. And while Lord Unknown is the biggest correlation between these two games being linked in some sort of way, there is actually one more detail that I noticed while replaying the Coffin of Andy and Leyley that I think could kind of further, make this theory a possibility. When going through the decay ending route during the vision where you collect the keys that drop in like the top left and you're using the flower petals to solve like the room puzzle, if you make sure to grab that key in the top left before trying the door and getting like the safety escape key, you'll be able to unlock the door at the top of the second room. And normally you go in this room to actually get the Vision Watcher achievement from the Six-Eyed Demon. And then after you talk to him, you see that there's a couple of souls around the room, but there's two very notable ones in the top right corner of the room. One of the souls is tainted while the other is pure. And when you go to talk to these souls, they end up gaining hearts over their heads, and there's a quick little text blurb saying that these two souls are fond of each other. When I first played through this section, I thought nothing of it. But now after playing through No Good Noelle, I feel as if the game is alluding to these two souls being Noelle and Yule. Noelle being a pure snow sprite spirit, while Yule is a tainted imp having eaten a child and probably done some other nefarious things during his life. And it makes sense that both of these souls would be trapped within the demon realm, or like the realm of Lord Unknown and Six Eyes, after death due to being so tied to the demon. But at this point in time, I mean, that's all the information we have as to like the reason for the two games being connected. There might be something else that I missed, and if you found something or have any information, definitely let me know down in the comments below, and as to like what you think of this theory in general. But if this is all true, it would mean that the Yule ending is canon from No Good Noelle. And maybe the decay route is canon as well, or it's just trying to give us a little bit more story and lore. But hey, that's just a theory. A game theory. Oh no. The retired, still alive version of Matt Pat is going to come get us for saying the hit line. Well, thank you so much for coming out today, party members. I hope you enjoyed this video. It's a little bit different than what I've been doing on the channel so far. I wanted to kind of explore videos that aren't just gameplay, and figured maybe doing like a theory video could be a fun way to explore that. Definitely let me know what you thought down below. And yeah, if you want to see more of these or have any theories you would like me to explore, let me know as well. But thank you so much for coming out today, and I will see you in the next one. See you, everyone. Bye-bye.